one of my friends, Matthew, and we're doing specific training. The way we do this training is you get 3 minutes to play any position you want, basically, and you kind of switch top to bottom. Okay, so I'm coming in. It's my turn to pick, and I choose open guard, no grips, meaning he's going to be playing guard, and we start with no control. So like we're disconnected, and then he has to like establish control, and I have to try to pass. And kind of the focus of this is to avoid getting tied up in any position. So you want to kind of like, you don't have to move constantly, but you don't want to be locked down. Okay, and that's a really, really important thing to do whenever you're trying to pass a guard. You don't want to just walk into their best control. You want to try to avoid that, and at least keep like one hand free, or like keep one leg back. However you like to pass, you got to make it so that they can't control you. Okay, so that's the focus of this training. I like doing this type of training a lot because I feel like it's like skill development based. Instead of just going into sparring and just seeing what happens, you're kind of focused and you're developing one area, which I think for me personally at the level that I'm at, I get much more out of this type of training than just kind of like rolling nonstop. But to each their own. But I'm gonna go ahead and play it, and I'm gonna just talk about some of the decisions that Matt makes, and some of the decisions that I make, and why I feel like those are good or bad, and why we make them. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. Okay, so I want to talk about the first engagement. There's always a lot to unpack with jiu-jitsu. So look, the first thing I do is I start to control his legs. And what I always think about doing initially is not allowing my opponent's feet to post on me, to create this distance, okay? Because that's going to keep me far away. So I start C-gripping his legs, and I just misdirect them. Like I misdirect his shin just so his feet can't touch me. Because if his feet can't touch me, he's not going to be able to anchor his weight on me and follow me if I start to change direction. Like if I go around to the left, or if I go around to the right, and his feet are on my, like hooking behind my knees, or posting on my hips, or he has spider guard in, his body's going to follow with me, and I'm not going to make much progress. So if I want to get a good look at the pass, I'm going to be controlling his legs in this way, and that's usually the first thing I look for. I wasn't able to get the C grip, so I decided to try to trap a leg, like look for headquarters. And you see I very deliberately step my right leg between his legs, and my other leg is looking to step over and trap his leg in between my legs. And what this is going to do is just make sure that, again, his foot isn't going to be able to post on me, and he's only going to be left with like his shins to keep distance, which is going to make it easier for me to start to impose like a pressure position and close the distance. Okay, so go ahead and so I'm looking to trap. So one thing, I've trained with Matt a few times now, and one thing he does, one of the attributes he has in his favor is that he has very long limbs. Like his legs are very, very long. He's got a really big frame. But one thing he does is he will use his feet to extend against me. So he'll push his feet away and try to get his feet on any surface and extend. But he's not really using the grips with his hands to assist that, or to like work against the push. So what'll end up happening, and you'll see as I play this, he's kind of like getting grips and extending his legs a lot, like he's kicking his legs far away, but he doesn't have any pull. Like think about like a spider guard or a collar sleeve, where you have a grip on the collar and you're pulling that really, really hard and breaking their posture, but you also have a grip on the hip pushing and working like together with it to try to separate their knee from their elbow. That's really dangerous. But just extending your legs without that grip to help you capitalize and expose the person, you expose yourself. So if we go back a little bit here, look at Matt's knees. They start very close to his chest, but every time he extends his leg away, watch, he's gonna extend, he's stretching his leg out right here. This is a big vulnerability right here. His knee coming away from his chest like that. This space, this is like side control, or this is a place you don't want the person to put any part of their body. And what I do is, as soon as I feel him extend his leg away, I drop my knee, my right knee, in front of that leg, so I kind of stop it where it is, and it's hard for it to come back. And it's not like permanent because my body weight isn't really there yet or anything, but this kind of like holds the door open and makes him have to work a little bit harder to get this leg in, to where he has to throw his other leg over the top, or he's got to take his hand off of my leg and start pushing on me. Like, it causes this small little thing right here that he's exposed by extending his legs, causes a big chain reaction that can lead to a pass. And you'll see, like, I don't know if I passed or not, I don't remember, but this pulling his knee away from his chest is eventually how I close the distance on him. See, he starts to extend. He does it again. And now you can see I really drop my knee in front, because I felt this. I've already felt this once, and I'm not thinking about this. It's just intuitive at this point that, like, when their knee pulls away from their chest, this space right here, like, say this is his leg, this space right here, that's very important. So I'm going to drop my knee in there, and I'm going to try to occupy that space any way I can. It could be my knee. It could be your hand across the hip framing. It could be your hip. You'll see pretty much every pass is going to try to occupy that space behind the leg. So it's not good for Matt to constantly extend without the control that comes with the grips to keep me from doing that. So this is where his guard starts to kind of break down a little bit. And see, now I'm really settling into that space. I get like reverse grips. You can see I like to control this top pant a lot, because usually this leg is the one that throws over the top and recovers. So I do a lot of gripping on that leg, and I'll just kind of stiff arm it while the rest of my body deals with whatever the bottom leg is doing and whatever his arms are framing against on my body. So I still have this top grip. I think I start to control his bottom leg, and I'm going to be looking to step my leg out and through. See, his leg is kind of sticking right here. So this is the only thing that's still in his guard, my left leg. I'm going to be kicking that up and stepping through, and then this is going to be like alarm bells for Matt, and he's going to feel like, oh, shit, like he's almost north-south, he's past my guard, and you're going to see like big reactions, I think. Right here, I catch the leg, start walking north-south, and he gets a foot on my hip right here, and this can extend me away. So what I'm going to look to do is bury this under my body and then switch and control his upper body, okay? Whenever you're looking to pass, you're usually going to try to control their shoulders in some way, because they do what's called a shoulder escape, okay? Which means their shoulders are going to move along the mat and just try to like get away from you like this. So if we go back a little bit, you can see, look where Matt's shoulders are right now, right here. And as I start to pass, look how far his shoulders travel. And that's kind of what you're looking to stop and force him to be like cemented in this position, so that you can actually get your body to catch up with him. So look, like, as I start to step through, I put my knee in front. Look how far his shoulders go. Boom, right there. And then, boom, I get this grip right here on his back. And this is going to allow me to pull myself in and start to really threaten his hips and like break down this frame he's created with his top leg and his bottom arm, because he can't really get away from me anymore. You know, I still have this leg pinned, so it's hard for him to work with this knee, to pull this knee between us. So he's only left with this top leg. Okay, so if I played a little bit more, you see I'm starting to settle. Usually I go side smash here, so I like to switch my arm over the hip like this. So I'm grabbing like kind of like on his back, but my elbow is pushing down on his hips, so his hips don't raise. Because a lot of times people will come up to turtle here, and that's how they'll kind of roll through and get like a knee bar or put you in 50-50. So once I settle him here, I look to keep his hips down and start to work the side smash, I think. Yeah, that's what I do. He's flaring his knee right now. So his knee right here that I'm trying to bury and put to the floor, he's opening it against my hips. And I'm kind of like kicking this top leg up, because I want to switch my knees to this side. In case he like flares too much and he starts to throw my body to this side, I'm going to bring both of my knees together, and I'm going to drop into side control on this side. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about in this moment. So he's opening, my weight is settling. He's actually doing a really good job here. He's got a frame against my neck, which is really good. But what he should be trying to do is take my crossface off of his face. Because what he wants to do to escape is tuck his head underneath and pick his hips up. That's his method to escape right here. He's not going to open my hips to this side. It's just not feasible at this point. My weight is too far, like, to this side. See how my center of gravity is like right here, and his hips are right here? He's not going to knock me to this side. So he needs to remove this crossface so that his head can travel underneath, kind of like you're inverting, like you're doing like a shoulder roll. And this is going to allow his butt to come up, and that's going to cause me to change position and have to like windshield wiper over his legs and avoid 50-50. That's kind of how he's going to escape. And he's not doing a bad job. Like, he's got one frame here. I think he should move his elbow a little bit closer to where his hand is, and his hand should be on my like bicep elbow area, and his other hand should be on my bicep elbow area, and he should be pushing my hand up and off and tucking his head underneath, like hiding his head. Because right now his forehead is against my bicep, and I can kind of pry against that. See how like I have my shoulder and my bicep against his face? I'm kind of prying his head away in the opposite direction because I know that's his only way to escape. So I don't know if he's aware of this or not. He's got good frames, but this is part of the reason, like, when you roll with somebody who's very experienced, it can feel like you can't even move. It's just because they know all of your options from a position, and they'll start to deny them to you before you even realize that that's what you're supposed to do. So in this spot, before we got here, I already had my hand in this position because I've felt this so many times that I know if his head gets out, he'll escape. So like by the time Matt realizes, oh, I need to get my head out, he's going to feel a ton of resistance, and we're on to the next position that he also has to address, you know? So I'll just go ahead and let it play. Okay, so if you look here, okay, so look at his left hand. This is a common mistake. People will grab this right here, this knee. This isn't going to help you at all right here, okay? But it happens a lot. People try to like underhook this or grab this leg. All this is going to do is use up your hand as a resource, your arm as a oh God, that was a very phallic annotation right there, excuse me. Use up your hand as a resource right here, and when it could be doing better things. So as a lower belt, you always want to be thinking like, are my appendages doing the most for me? You know, is this a useful way to use my hand, to use my elbow, to use my knee, or is there a job that would give me a bigger return that I could give to this appendage? And right now, this hand should be working on that elbow like I was saying earlier. Okay, so I just thought that was interesting. I didn't notice he was grabbing my leg like that. You can see I'm working. Yeah, I get a deeper crossface. I've got him totally flattened out here. And he's starting to open his leg, which when people feel the side smash getting really, really bad, they'll straighten both of their legs like this. Just because it's the only thing you feel like you can do, and that's the perfect opportunity to hop your legs to the other side, because his baby hooks here, his hooks can't really capture you. Once his legs are straight and far away, it's just like, you know, he's like in the coffin, you know what I mean? His legs are totally straight. They're not going to really give you a problem. So he starts to straighten right here, and then I can drop to the other side. I thought right here, I was watching this earlier, I thought this was a really good play. Like, this was smart of him to do this, because the next thing I was going to do is control his head with my arm, and that would have cemented the pass. But you can already see, because he's using both of his arms here, it's like tipping all of my body weight away. So I'm having to like move a lot and like unsettle my hips just to keep my weight distributed over him evenly. Okay, and I think what I would have done, because I don't think he escapes this position, but what I would have done is use this to keep space, just keep my right hand on, and then start to elbow escape with my left hand. So he's using, this is another example of like, can my hands be doing something better? Can my resources be doing something better for me? I think this one right arm could be doing the job of both of these, and it could be moving my weight down, like moving a majority of my body weight towards his feet and making his shoulders light, so that this left arm can start posting on the ground, and he can start to move his body away and actually start to like build up a base and recover. I don't think that's what he does. I think he starts to push me above his head, which is also a good option, but I don't think he continues to recover. But I thought this was a good play for him to block my crossface in the first place. That was good awareness for like what's coming next, you know, the next position. Okay. So he's using both hands here, and I think just using one would have been nice. He starts to get stuck in the position. And I think we'll go back to that. A lot of times when I'm rolling with somebody less experienced, I'll keep the positions kind of loose, you know, like I'll put pressure when I feel like it's going to be important to practice that skill. Like in the side smash, I was practicing his escape routes. But once I have the pass and I feel like I've practiced that sequence well enough, I don't mind going back into the guard and like giving them another shot at like troubleshooting what they did or trying to establish better, and me just getting another shot at practicing the guard pass. So that's kind of like how I like to train, especially in this specific training. I don't always try to win. I'm more thinking about like working on skills. You know what I mean? So like I'm thinking in my head right now like, oh, that was a good like practice of the side smash and like passing off of it, and it was a good little exchange. So like I feel like, you know, if this was like an MMO, I'd get like +5 experience, you know, and then I can go and do it again, get another +5 experience in something else, and you can kind of develop really quickly that way. Okay. But that's it. I don't think I'm going to go much farther because these commentaries run really long. I hope that was helpful. You kind of got like a little view into like what I'm thinking about when I'm passing or an upper belt is passing, just kind of keeping the feet off. Look at Matt's feet, little monkey feet down here. He's like grabbing onto my feet like this. He likes to do this. Like he'll attach his feet to you, but his hands aren't like grabbing anything. I wish he would just like sit all the way up on this elbow and like start to control. I talked to him about that after this, but anyway, kind of like rambling a little bit, but I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you guys would like to see like a focus on, because I mean I do this type of training all the time. I don't always record it, but I can record it and I can commentate over it, and I can focus it on whatever I want. So it could be like deep half, it could be defense, it could be judo, it could be, you know, whatever. So just, you know, comment if you've made it this far in the video. Let me know what you'd like to see, and I hope this helps.